Right then guys, now is the fun part. It's the time to get in the steels, make sure they're nice and safe and secure, and then we can start dropping everything else in. Now we can get this column out of the way, and then we can get the holes drilled properly, get the holes blown out with Pete's new tool that we'll show you in a minute. Look how happy he is with it as well. Good morning guys, and welcome back to another week on site. So it's Monday after we poured these lovely footings, so we've come back in, everything's looking good. Right, so today we are going to get these columns in. So we've got a column going there and a column going there. I've told you this about a million times, so by now you should realise there's two columns going in. So we're going to get those in, get those all level, get them up to the right height. We're going to get this other beam across the top there. We're going to bolt it on that side, and it's going to be welded on that side, so it is just going to be sort of held in situ for the time being until we can get that other one in and get our site welder here to get all that sorted. So yeah, priority is just to get these columns in today, make sure they're nice and safe and secure, and then we can start dropping everything else in. Once that's all in, we can then start punching holes through here to get our needles in for this as well. So that is another good job done. Alex is also going to build up here, this corner, just to make sure everything's nice and safe and secure under here, because the last thing we want is any issues on this corner. We can get under here built up as well, so that's all nice. But yeah, that's it, that's the plan for today. Hopefully the rain stops, let's get on with it. So then guys, we are now making some good progress. I haven't been filming because we've been here, there and everywhere, so I'll just walk you through what we've done so far. So you can see in here now, we've got all these joists propped, both sides. So this is nice and secure, and what that's going to do is basically carry the load of that wall as well, because everything is built on top of the floorboards, which is on top of these joists, because that's how they do it. Obviously you build walls on top of floorboards, but that will make sure everything's nice and secure. What we're going to do now, we're just going to get a strong buoy in at this point here, just to hold underneath this column, so we can then knock out a hole here to get a needle through. Once all that's safe and secure, we can then take this whole pillar down and then take that wall out right the way back to the doorway there, because obviously this has got to come out. We can also punch the hole where we need to on this bit here. So our steel that comes across here is basically going to sit on this section of wall, so we're going to need to remove some of this as well. You can see there the brickwork does go up, but you can also see that it's sat on the floorboards. So yeah, we just need to take some of that out as well, ready to get our steel in. James has been working hard over here, getting these holes done there, so you can see they're ready. Well, that one's nearly ready. These two are ready to get our needles through. Just in here as well, we just moved all that sand out of the way over to there. Floorboards are now out of the way, so we can get our acros up to take the needles from the inside. So we'll now set up a time lapse, and you can watch us working our magic. Let's do it. The guys have been absolutely smashing it. Everything is now out. We have got our little nib cut out there, all the brickwork's out from this wall. Everything is now propped up and ready to go. As I've said before, we've got steel going across here, so next up what we need to do is basically get some needles through up here. So just to prop this wall up, we have only got a small section of wall here which is actually doing anything. There's an old doorway there, so those little bit of bricks there are literally just in there for infill. So we're going to just support here, here and in there, and then that will take all that then. So we're just getting up into that room so we can take some floorboards out, and then we're going to punch some holes through the wall here, get a few more needles through. We're going to take some of these joists out anyway, because we're going to actually move this across, because currently our handrail that comes up here, you cannot get your hand behind up there, so we need to make sure there's enough space. We want to keep the width of this staircase. We are putting a new staircase in, but we want to keep the same width, so we're going to just slightly reduce this over here, bring this back ever so slightly. So these are all going to need to come out basically, so we can gain that extra space. So we're going to get all these cut out, and then these ones trim back over here so our steel can slot up nicely in there. It's going to basically sit on this wall, so it just needs to slot up in here like that. So we'll have to cut these joists back, and then there's a plate on the bottom which will carry those and hold all those nicely. Let's do it. Right then guys, now is the fun part. It's the time to get in the steels. So we've made all our marks, we've got our laser set up. So what we've done here We've used Pete's amazing laser. Yeah, it's DeWalt, yeah. We've used the laser here to cast us a line which runs basically across the centre of this wall all the way over, which actually, surprisingly enough, works pretty well because it is an old building and everything's wobbled about everywhere, so it's pretty good. And then we found our centre point of this wall coming out to here because that is the governing point of where this column sits. So once we got that in place, we can then get this column in place, which is going here, make sure they're all plumbed up nicely, make sure they're at the height that we need them to be, and then we can get those fixed into the ground. Once they're in place, we can then get this steel in across here, and then the other one across there as well. We've also got this one to get in here as well, so we're going to get a pad stone on in there, get a pad stone on over there as well, so we're ready to rock and roll and we can get those steels dropped in, get everything bolted together, and then we're going to have to get our sight welder out to do a welding detail there and a welding detail on the back of this steel here, which joins that one to this one that runs across here. That's it, nice and easy. Should take us about 10 minutes and then it'll all be in. Yeah? Nah. Give us a little bit, let's get it done. So then guys, we've got our first steel in place. That is exactly where we want it to be. So what we've done is basically underneath here, oh, I don't know if you can see, we've got some nuts under there, and they've been sat onto our threaded bar, which has been anchor resined into the floor, and then what that allows then is some minute adjustment to make sure that this steel is actually plumb, because it was very slightly, I think it's about 3 or 4 mil out over like 6 foot, so it was pretty close, but obviously we want to get it bang on. So by putting those nuts underneath, it just allows you to slightly adjust everything, and then basically that means shut up John, let's do some work. It allows us to basically adjust it slightly just on all 4 corners to make sure it's exactly where we want it to be. So now that's in, that's locked off. We know now that that is our governing point, so we can now get that one set to the same height as that, and we can also get our pad stone in it there as well, so we know then when we put our steels across and across there, they're all going to be bang on where we want them to be. Easy! Right, so we've got this steel in where it needs to be, and all Pete's done there is just basically made some markings on the floor. Now we can get this column out of the way, and then we can get the holes drilled properly. Then we can get our anchor resin in, well, get the holes blown out with Pete's new tool that we'll show you in a minute. Look how happy he is with it as well. Get the holes blown out, and then we can get some anchor resin in there, and get our threaded bar in, and get it in and set the same way as we've done that one over there. Yes, I'm still filming, yes! So let me show you Pete's new tool. So it's this. What is it? Melith?
Yeah, basically, brand of tools that they do. I think they do stuff that's compatible with DeWalt, Makita, and a couple of other well-known brands. But 40 quid, nice little blower, nice handheld thing. Comes with a load of attachments, comes with a Hoover attachment.
Let's see Pete's new tool in action. Nice and easy. Beautiful, Pete.
Beautiful.
So you can see now Pete's just filled that with anchor resin, and now you do is just twist that in, and you can see there's a bit of force against it, so you're using the thread to basically push your way in there, and you can see the anchor resin comes in. You just saw that little pop there, that little bit of air that was in there has just basically come out, and then that holds that in nice and steady. Make sure the anchor resin's gone fully around the thread, and then it will stick to the side, stick to the bolt, hold everything nicely in place, and that will be absolutely solid, and Pete's never ever going to get that off his fingers. Right, so they're all done now. They're basically all anchor resined in. You can see we've got the nuts on top there ready and waiting. So once that resin's gone off, we can then get these tightened down to the floor, get our column sat on top, and then we can just use a spanner then just to adjust these nuts to give us our minute adjustment to make sure that this is truly plumb, and then we're good to go. We can then get this top steel here, we can then get that up and in position. Then what we need to do is basically mark the holes. Because we didn't know exactly where this was going to land here, we couldn't get the holes drilled in this horizontal steel, so we're basically going to have to get it up there, get these holes marked in the bottom of it, and then we can drill the hole. Well, just move it out of the way slightly, drill the holes with our mag drill, and then we can plonk it back on top, bolt it all together, get some bolts in that end as well to hold it temporarily until it gets welded, and then yeah, we can move on to the next one. So what we're doing now, we've basically held our level against this and the plumb is well out. So what we've done is slacken these off on top, and then Pete's just underneath there now with the spanner, just adjusting those nuts that we've got underneath. And what that allows us to do is then basically tip this bottom plate up slightly, so it will in fact kick this whole steel over to where we need it to be. Then once the bottom nuts are where we need them to be, we can then tighten off the top ones, and that will lock everything all together nicely and make sure that it doesn't move anywhere, and it keeps our level exactly where we want it to be.
So probably about the same again.
So it's literally just undoing, making micro adjustments at the top, using that washer then as a spacer just to give us, we know then we've got a few mil adjustment up to that nut, and then he's not going to over raise it or anything like that. And then by just slackening that nut off underneath, that literally just lifts the plate up slowly, and then you can see now that that's just bottomed out onto that nut. So we've just got our couple of mil adjustments we needed. Boom! Yes, Pete! Right, so Pete's done all his adjustment, and what we've done, just basically clamp that ruler on top, so that gives us the governing point for the top. And we can see this has obviously been set from that steel over there, and if we go up to that, if I get out of the way, it's just, so we're tight on that ruler there, and you can see, bang on, perfect. We know now then that the top of this column is the same height as the top of that column to the mill, bang on, perfect. So now what we need to do is get our big steel down here, get that jacked up, get that sat on top, and then we can mark our holes where they need to be, get it out of the way, get them drilled, and then get it plonked on. Keep using that word, don't I? Plonked. Get it placed nicely on top, and then we can bolt it all together, and then that is nice and solid and going nowhere. Right guys, we're halfway through the steelworks now. It's going well, but you're going to have to wait until the next episode to see just how well it goes. Or does it? Stay tuned. The next one will be out in 2 weeks' time. If you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you're not yet subscribed, why not? You are watching our videos and you're not subscribed. Come on, hit the subscribe button, help us get to 100k. Also, one last thing is True Trade. If you're in the trade, please head over to truetrade.co.uk. Check it out, see what all the fuss is about. It will revolutionise your life, give you a lot more free time, and hopefully, ultimately, help you make more money, which is what we all want, right? Take care, guys. See you next time.